Welcome to Pat's Chat, brought to you by OrthoVirgina. I'm Steve Colby, and it's great to have you with us once again. Today, we are joined by Siron Hardy, junior outside hitter of the George Mason women's volleyball team. Siron, it is great to see you. I see you waving there.
Hello, hello. I'm glad to be here.
How are you today? And I just, it's cold outside, but the practice is heating up. We're ready for the season to come after the first of the year. Just wanted to ask you first and foremost about, what it's been like with the practicing and getting yourself ready for the season when this year is not going to fall in its traditional time. Does that make it harder? Is it any different?
It's definitely a lot different being that we have more time off. So like I'll take you through a Monday, Wednesday practice where we do have lift and practice all in one day. It's more difficult because we have lift at 8 and then it's a lot of space in between the practice time because that'll end at 9 and then we have practice at 1:30. And since we're not having in-person classes, a lot of us don't have much to do in that time frame. So we kind of have to be mindful of like using our time wisely, not getting too lazy, trying to get homework. And so that's definitely more difficult. And it's harder staying, I guess, aggressive and keep working because we're not really working towards games on the weekend like we usually would in the fall season. So that's definitely probably the most difficult part.
Obviously, your teammates bring a lot of support throughout the course of the year. And every year is different from team to team. Can you sort of walk us through the makeup of this year's squad, from the upperclassmen down to maybe some of the new faces that are coming in?
I would say this team we have 17 girls, so we're definitely way bigger than we have been in the past. This freshman class I came in, I think was either 6 or 7. So, but I think the main difference between the team dynamic this year and the past years is that we all have like similar skill sets and mindsets. It's not up and down with how everybody plays. So it kind of helps with how well we mix together and like the cohesiveness, I guess, on the court, because we build like a strong trust. And with COVID, we have worked hard to try to keep that team dynamic and like closeness because it is more difficult because we can't go out and like gather and stuff. So we have worked hard. It's basically like challenged us to be more close, but I think it's also better because we're all going through it together, so we know how hard it is. So yeah.
Now, when did you start playing? When you were younger, and when did you know that volleyball was going to be the sport for you? And did you play any other sports growing up?
Yeah, actually, I did not start in team sports. I started out in karate. I started karate when I was like 5. Did that until I was around 9. And then my parents were like, we need to get her into a team sport so she can, because I was very shy. So they wanted to open me up. So I needed to get into a team sport. And it was honestly between softball and volleyball. But I'm definitely afraid of bugs. So outside wasn't really the move for me. And so I just got involved in a lot of volleyball clinics. Specifically, George Mason was one of my first like volleyball clinics I went to when I was around 9 or 10. And then from there, like my dad just kept putting me into camps and stuff. And that's when we knew that it was for me.
And you're right around the corner from nearby Centerville. Did you always know that you wanted to pursue your collegiate career, not just academically, but also athletically, close to home and not have to travel too far? Or did you have a lot of options on the table?
Actually, for the longest time, because I looked up to a lot of like different hitters at Hawaii. It was one hitter, Kanani Danielson, and she played at the University of Hawaii. So for the longest time when I was younger, I dreamt of going to the University of Hawaii, but then that was kind of far. So then I was like, maybe California. I aspired to be another outside hitter, that Samantha Bricio. She played at USC. And then I wanted to go to Florida. So I always dreamed about going far, but and like all in all, I'm really satisfied that I did stay close to home. Like it's not at all how I thought it was going to be. And I think it's better being close to home for me, at least, to still have that access to my parents and family.
And since you are so close to home, do you, I guess when new teammates arrive on campus, I guess you're one of the ones they can look to sort of know the area, to sort of help them around, good spots to eat, places to be able to hang out?
Definitely. And I really enjoy it because we do have a lot of different, like, people from different areas from Florida, California. And it makes me happy when, like, we go on breaks and then they go home and they're like, oh, I miss Fairfax. I miss Fairfax. And I'm like, wow, like, they really love it here. And it makes me kind of appreciate the area more.
Well, let's go into a match day. So you've got a big match coming up later tonight. What are the things that you do to get yourself prepared for that match and get yourself ready?
Well, first of all, prior to the game day, I would say that night before, I definitely send one up and I'll say a prayer and ask God to whether that whatever the outcome will be for the game, just to keep all of us covered and basically not get injured, be safe out there and all that. And then game day, usually me and my teammates will go to Dunkin', get our iced coffees, get our breakfast sandwiches, because we do have an hour practice on game days around like 9 or 10, and then we'll go back to the room. And then if you're like me, who always has to go to the training room before our matches, you get there a little earlier, and then we'll eat dinner together around like 4, watch film, scout out the other team a little bit more, and then, get into the zone, put in our headphones, really lock in the locker room, and kind of talk about what we need to do to be successful on the court.
Well, you still have your junior year and after that as well here at George Mason. But you have some coaching experience in your past. You coach youth volleyball. Is there possibly coaching in your future as you look ahead?
I'm not opposed to it. This is my second year coaching. I was a head coach last year for a 14 team. And now this year I'm an assistant coach for a 17 team. And I really have realized that I do enjoy coaching and building up younger athletes to like pursue their dreams and stuff. So I would highly consider that once after grad school and all that, if it's my calling.
I wanted to ask you about your relationship with your brother, who has played, collegiately in terms of playing football collegiately. Very difficult. Not many people get a chance to do that. Tell us about your relationship with your brother. Were you competitive growing up? Did you support each other and attend each other's games? Just kind of take us through a typical day between you and your brother as you were kids.
Okay, we were definitely close. My brother has been my best friend since I was not even born. Like, he knew it was weird. It was like we've had a connection before I was even here. So definitely looking up to him as my role model and seeing him work throughout high school and college, and his work ethic has pushed me to work, because even when he came back from college and I was in high school, he would come back in the summers and like train me before volleyball, because he's a physical trainer as well. So he would come through and help me lift and make up like my own workout routines to push me. So I would say he definitely is a major part in my successes athletically and just as a person in general, because everybody honestly loves him. He's really a great person. Like, hopefully he doesn't hear this. Ooh. But no, it really is like a blessing that I was able to have an older brother who really looked after me and genuinely cared about me. So yeah.
Did you try each other's sports? Were you ever out there throwing the football around, and did he ever come on a volleyball court with you? And how did it turn out?
For sure. Football wise, I have a good arm on me, so that wasn't too bad. But when he stepped on the volleyball court, it was kind of a different story with the footwork and all, but we're still working on it. We got a couple little passing skills, but we're still working on that.
Well, we know you're going to coach him up, right?
For sure.
Time now for some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
All right, let's get into it.
It's a match day. If we're going to take a peek into what you're listening to before the matches, what's it going to be?
What am I listening to? Okay, so I have Spotify, so they usually will make up a playlist for me, but it's definitely probably something with Roddy Ricch or NBA Youngboy kind of. It's a little rap to get me in the zone and like get my blood pumped and my adrenaline going and getting hyped.
Give us a list of, add to that, give us a list of your favorite artists.
Favorite artist, okay, Chris Brown, love him. Roddy Ricch, Travis Scott, Summer Walker, and SZA. That's definitely my top 5.
Trying to budget your time. Obviously, you talked about how busy you can be during practices,
Right.
studying, especially when on campus. In the little that you may have, what are you doing in your free time?
Since we do have a lot of free time, I've been watching a lot of Netflix, watching a lot of movies. I have every streaming service, Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix. So anything I want to watch, I really can see it. So I've definitely been devoting most of my time to watching movies. And also I've been baking a lot though. I have been baking.
So what are we
So
baking?
I'll make a lemon pound cake. That's really, I don't know, that's kind of my signature. My friends have been asking about that. I had to make an apple pie on Thanksgiving for my brother. First for everything, but it turned out pretty great. I got into banana bread a little bit, but I wasn't really a big fan of that. So,
Well, I'm always
but yeah.
available if you need a taste test.
I got you. No worries. Oh,
Uh,
definitely, definitely.
Somebody told me that you love attending concerts, live concerts.
Mm.
What are some of the best concerts you've seen in recent years?
Definitely my top concert I went to my freshman year was the Travis Scott concert at the Capital One Arena in DC. I believe that was definitely the best concert I've ever been to. I was one of my friends' parents worked in the ticketing office, so we were able to get the box. Like we were in a box seat and we had food and all that. So that was pretty amazing. It was a great experience for that. That was kind of my first concert actually in an arena because most of the concerts I attend is at Jiffy Lube, the outdoor concerts and stuff. So I would go to those every summer. So that was definitely a great experience.
Okay, I want to flip that on you. What's one concert where after you left you said, I really wish I would have saved my money?
Which one was it? I would say last summer. It was the I hate to do it to him, but it was the Wiz Khalifa concert. And it wasn't even that the concert was bad. It was just so hot outside that day. It just felt like it was 150 degrees and it was just not going anywhere. The sun was blazing. We didn't have a lot of water. And then when he finally came out, it just wasn't, I was just too tired. So it wasn't as hype anymore.
Well, you talked about Hawaii and also California and maybe possibly thinking about playing volleyball there. What are some of the best places that you've traveled to?
Ah, this would be so easy because this summer I actually had planned to go to Hawaii. So that definitely would have been my top number one. But then, with COVID and everything. So I would say it's definitely a tie between California. I got to go to California for my senior year beach week in high school. So that was definitely a great experience. And this past spring break, I went to Miami. So I would say those are my top two locations. It was just definitely good vibes. And I like it, hot, both common denominators, hot, the beach, the sun, everything. So it was definitely just a good time.
On campus, we know that you love to attend other events, other sporting events, and support your fellow student athletes. What are some of the most memorable games or events that you've seen so far here at George Mason?
I would say definitely the men's volleyball games are probably my top, like my favorite, because it's just the fact that we both play in the same building and then we're just there supporting, and it's a large crowd, just hearing the noise and the sounds. And men's volleyball is so intense. So I would say that's definitely it, in supporting them and also reciprocating that energy because they also come to our games. So I feel like that's like definitely important. We have an important bond. So those are definitely pretty nice. What's another one? Basketball games, of course. Gotta love basketball games. Being in Eagle Bank, having the green machine over there going crazy. That's definitely a good experience. So
Just have two more for you, and one that you may not be ready for, but I just wanted to ask you if you had something that you could say to Mason Nation, with everybody, battling through COVID-19, and some people, are inside more than they normally would be. If there's something you
right.
could say to the fans out there in Mason Nation, what would it be?
I would say that we are all really in the same boat. We're all struggling through this time because it's a first for most, if not all of us, going through this pandemic, going through everything that 2020 has really thrown at us. So I would say this just kind of feels like the bottom. So going into 21, it just be more hopeful in that everybody is working to get us back to kind of normal or like a new normal So just stay hopeful that there is light at the end of the tunnel, basically, and that we will get back to where we should be.
And one more thing for you, we're at practice. The doors are closed. There's no fans. There's nobody around. What's the one thing that you don't want to hear your head coach say?
Easy. If it's the one thing or the one sound, get on the line, or she has a whistle that she blows mid-play if like a ball drops or we don't do something she just told us. She blows the whistle and we have to run and go hit one of the walls across the gym and sprint back to play. That is easily not the one I want to hear, because that means we are not performing how we should be performing, and it's just not good. She's not happy with us, and it's just bad.
We'll hope that the whistle stays away. Siron, it's been great talking with you. We all look forward to seeing you and the team on the court very soon.